Ricardo Moloi is a beast from the East. The rapper found his pen in Kempton Park and has since used and lent it to various musicians over the last 18 years.
I would like to really take credit for like what I write, but like it's really from the heavens, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a gift for me. I don't think I even notice like the triple entendres and the whatever when I'm writing it. For me, just like, I'm just rhyming, like I said.
His first foray into fame was as Rich Boy the Crumper in school, but he hung up his dancing shoes to kick it as a rapper. First with a group called Black that was signed to Vusi Liu's Huge Entertainment in 2006, but more fittingly later as a solo artist who has become a blueprint since he first declared, "You don't know me yet," in 2016. Since then, the rapper, who is very well known now as Priddy Ugly, has released 5 bodies of work. His latest, Dust, was released in early 2024 and in the same year won the Best Hip Hop Album Award at the South African Music Awards. Today, our conversation starts up where that acceptance speech left off, and we get into some ugly truths of rap and some pretty dope moments in his life. Another week, another episode of a Helen Herimbi-Moremi podcast. I am Helen Herimbi-Moremi, and I'm really grateful that I'm able to speak to musicians who really make me go, And today is no different. I'm hanging out with one of my faves, top 5 on any list.
Every list, and there's plenty lists.
See, you do remember lyrics. Priddy Ugly, everybody. How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually very happy to be here.
I'm also really happy that you're here.
I haven't sat down with you, I think, since 2018.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and I think I've also like really grown since then. Like when I reflect on some of those interviews I did with you back then, I was like,
Really? Are there things you feel like you would do differently?
I mean, yeah.
Like what?
Not a lot of things. I just feel like maybe in that time I was just, just young, just very, I don't want to say impressionable, but just like, just figuring myself out, I guess, just learning. I thought I was super grown then, but like reflecting on it now, I was like, I was young. Like, I mean, we sat down at a weed spot to have an interview, and I think about it then, because then I used to really like smoking a blunt before I did an interview.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like it made me more open.
Yeah.
But then
so it was like drink champs just with
it just made me open up a little more. But like just when I think about it, it's just like, yeah, but then I also say things and I don't articulate myself the best way, and then like I drag an answer, and then I don't know if I really even answered your question, and then I'm also looking tired and just looking high, and I don't like that. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. It's because I really mess with you, so it's like I don't feel like I don't want anything to like taint that.
Yeah. Well, how you feel is how you feel, right? Yeah. But I think like meeting artists where they are at the time is important to me. Sure. And I would never want you to feel like you were taken advantage of,
never,
or like,
never.
Oh, then she used these words, because I think I've been very like authentic with our relationship. Like there are things that you won't hear from me about you, that I won't say to other people. Yeah. But I really want to set the scene and kind of give context to a lot of people because of stuff like that. Like you and I have spent some time together. Like you literally are one of my favorite artists.
Thank you.
So I don't want this interview to be like, when you were 8, don't roll your eyes, because those are important. They're important. Yeah. But I really want it to be like from writer to writer, right? Like I'm very curious about some of the things that you're saying, and some of it will just be like, I like this line.
Sure.
Cool. Yeah. But let me see, where do I want to start? So is very important to me because it's like about being intrigued, right?
Sure.
And your last album, Dust, is one of those albums that really intrigues me. There's a lot of lines that I'm like, what do you mean? Or like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that, right?
Yeah.
But before we get into that, what is a 2024 bar that you didn't write that intrigues you?
Yeah, like people have this conversation where they like dissect like, yo, name the best. If Pretty Ugly is such a dope lyricist, whatever, name the best bar. And I hate that because like I don't write in one-liners. You know what I'm saying? It's like I always feel like that one line like borrows into the next four lines, and then like it's a whole rhyme pattern. It's a rhyme scheme. Like I don't think in words. I think in rhymes.
Yeah.
So I think I even over rhyme.
Okay.
Like I'm an over rhymer, but like when it comes to my lyricism, I feel like when it comes to rhyming specifically, that's like what I'm really good at. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm one of the best rhymers in the world. Like Eminem
Except
speaks
you
about
couldn't
like
rhyme day. Wednesday.
exactly. No, I just had a lot on my mind that time, and I had a
Okay.
migraine. I just couldn't speak about it.
Okay.
So I was just going through a lot.
Sure. What about Eminem?
Eminem speaks about like rhyming orange, and he's like, yeah, people can't rhyme orange. Like people like say it's too difficult, and he's like, you can think of so many things like don't hinge, but like thing is, you think
Like
about like
syringe.
one word, yeah, like think about putting different words together and think about syllables. I work in syllables,
Okay.
which is why it was so hard to rhyme day the other day, because I was like, I mean, it wasn't even day, it was Wednesday, and I wasn't trying to rhyme Wednesday with day, say, hey. Like Wednesday needs to be friends, say, and bend straight. You know what I'm saying? It's
Okay,
like
maybe you're redeeming yourself. Maybe
you
you're
know what I'm
redeeming-
saying? It's just like, yeah. So I mean, damn. But line is, yeah, I can't think of like. I suck with remembering lyrics. What did I hear recently that I thought was so witty and so fire? Look, I hear like a lot of Drake lines that are like, man,
you
I
don't
like
want
that.
Drake. You want South Africans. No one in South Africa is making you go, wow, like that line is so dope. I wish I wrote it.
Nah, and that's not to say that people aren't fire, but I did this freestyle recently where I was gonna remember the bar, but I just definitely cannot remember the bar. But I say something like, there isn't much that I hear from anybody that makes me feel like that was super mind blowing. Even if they're super epic artists, like, oh man, that was you fire, but it's just like I say that there's not a word or there's not a verse or heard that I have heard. There's not a verse or a word that I have heard that they could bust and touch and nerve. It's just like, yeah, I mean, yeah, dudes are dope, but it's like, it's nothing that's making me feel like,
I love a writer's ego.
like, no, but it's like I feel like just generally like I'm a humble person or whatever, but I like even like my rap of bravado. I'm not like, yo, I'm the greatest rapper in the world. Maybe when I was young, I used to do that.
Yeah.
But I do feel, maybe I don't act it, but like feel like when it comes to really pinning things down and writing things down, that like there's not many who can match me.
I mean, this is your episode, so let's definitely keep it about you.
Yeah.
I did want to talk about this specific rhyme.
Sure.
Where you say people die for the guala.
Mm.
You want to finish?
Brothers make you sing like a bala brothers.
And then
Ntja'ka.
I mean, like for me, like when I hear rhymes like that,
yeah,
I'm just like it conjures up like, okay, people have to sing for their supper, right? Like you have to make money, but also the Bala brothers.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
And then also like Pala Fala.
You're
like
that person. Come on. What are we talking about?
And like I really enjoy that kind of thing. So when you are coming up with rhymes like that, is it just like, oh, I'm writing a song, so this is what comes to mind?
Yeah.
Or like how does it, like what's the actual process for you?
The process is also it's just always different. Yeah, it's different. I remember when I was working on Soil, we had just come out of lockdown. So like I spent like a lot of time at home. I mean, even till today, I spend time at home. I've made sure that like I have everything that I need as close to me as possible. So I don't have to leave home for any reason outside of fetching my daughter from school or going to go see my mom or, coming here to do an interview. Otherwise, like, I'm in studio, the studio's at home, everything's at home, the camera is there, everything is there, you know what I mean? And yeah, and I just spend like a lot of time just in the garden, like putting my feet in the ground, feeling the soil. It's very important for me, really. Like I think DJ Spoo did this thing. There was a soundbite or something that trended, and I think he was hugging trees, and people just thought he was like crazy. What the hell is this? And like I resonated with that so much because like that's where I source my energy from as well. From nature, from the soil, from the ground. And yeah, so the process was just start with me, just like in the garden, feeling the ground. I think in colors first.
Oh?
Yeah, so Herc and I.
Synesthesia, right? Is that what that's called?
I actually don't know the term. My English is not that great.
I think it was a NERD album.
Really?
I mean, maybe fact check me.
Yeah.
But I think it's synesthesia.
That's very interesting. Yeah, so I think in color. So like Herc and I will be in studio. In my studio, I have like, these neon lights. In the last year, there've only been one or three colors. It's either blue, green, or red. But it's mainly been green lately, which hence the dust cover. And like it's crazy because also growing up, green was like my least favorite color. Green and orange I didn't like, and now green has become my favorite color.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I'll be in studio with Herc, and Herc will be like, "Yo, man, what are you feeling like? What do you want to create?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm feeling purple.
Exit.
Feeling purple and turquoise. And you'd be like, the purple's like soft, somewhat feminine. So we're thinking something smooth. If there's like some turquoise, it's like, okay, think about the ocean, but a still ocean, not crazy waves rushing and crushing. I was like, purple. And then we did No Plans, and that was inspired by the colors. Like,
wow.
Purple. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then when I was doing songs, like I remember like Rap Relay with Maglera, it was just like the colors were red and blue. So you think red and blue, you're thinking police sirens.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just hectic. It's just, you know what I'm saying? So the song was crazy energy, and that's how that came about. So with like songs like, with the bar you just mentioned now, yeah, like for me, I would like to really take credit for like what I write, but like it's really from the heavens. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's a gift for me. So I don't think I even notice like the triple entendres and the whatever when I'm writing it. For me, just like I'm just rhyming, like I said. I'm just rhyming. Oh, utlahola palafala. But others make you sing like a bala. And you might find that like maybe earlier that day I was just on my YouTube and I just so happened to be watching a TKZ thing.
Yeah.
But I don't even think about it. It's like in the back of my head. And then when I'm writing, I'm just like, yo, what can I say? It just sounds like kind of cool. And it's like Ntja'ka was like one of those songs where it just came effortlessly. I didn't even write it down, really. I was just like punching in every four lines. You should see the drop. Yeah, top. Oh, I like that. Oh, yeah, let me record that. Yeah. Okay, what can I say next? You should see the wardrobe. Yeah, top. I rise a wardrobe. Need a drop top slot, playing hopscotch in the strat. But now I'm just visualizing like growing up, like kids playing hopscotch, and like I'm remembering like my older cousin and his gushesha just spinning his car while like we're in Middleland, Soweto, So it's like memories, it's lines, but I'm also like, it's nostalgia. I'm thinking about whatever I'd seen that day, whatever conversation I'd had. But I'm glad there are people like you who are like, who listen to it that way. Like, oh, he said pala, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, pala, fala. Oh, TKZ is like,
that makes me feel so warm inside. Like when I hear writers write,
That makes me feel warm that you receive it that way.
Aww.
Yeah.
And I think it was particularly significant right now because congratulations.
Thank you.
On your best hip hop album, Sama.
Yeah.
But it's super significant because the person who handed it to you is Zwai Bala.
Crazy, right?
But like why it's significant, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
No,
he's a Sama award-winning hip hop artist too. Shout out to my Zwai Bala. I met him weeks prior to that.
Yeah.
He also has like a sit down like type show, music type of show.
Yeah.
And he had worked with Buntle on Clash of the Choirs. So B would come home and be like, yo, I met Zwai. Like, he's actually such a funny guy. I'm like,
He's
oh, really?
hilarious.
And
But
then
he's
I
also
met him
super
as well.
serious.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I met him then, and like, he wasn't too familiar with my stuff then, but he got to know me through the interview. And then, yeah, so for me, it was also like a bit heartwarming. And that's also partly where like the emotion was coming from when receiving the award, actually. It was just like, oh, this is why. Like,
Yeah.
I just had such a crazy conversation with him just a day ago, or earlier that day. And yeah, anyway, I'm blabbing. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think for some people watching this, they're probably going to be like, why are you guys talking about Zwai in a rap conversation?
Yeah.
But like, I think that's one of like the core hip hop artists in South Africa fighting for their spot is who gave Zwai the award. You think they won't do it again? Think again.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to still not back down, like he took that award like he deserved best hip hop.
For sure.
But like even Slicker and I wrote this book, and he talks a lot about yes.
I don't know. This is new.
No.
I don't know
but
about that.
To give people context, when Squatter won their summer, like he was very adamant about, like he went up on stage and he said, if you don't find any of the Outrageous Records albums or anything like that, then you should burn down the record store, and it was also stemming from that, like how could the industry not recognize hip hop? But yeah, so I think that's super significant to say it's 30 years of the Summers. It's like, this is where people thought hip hop was wrongly.
Yeah.
But this is where it's at rightly with Dust. And I think when you went up there, like you were talking about being emotional now, I want to tell you, do you remember what you said?
I think I do, yeah.
What did you say?
I think I started off by saying, one, I'm emotional. Which is not what I wanted to say at all. That whole thing wasn't what I wanted to say. It wasn't hip hop. I mean, that whole acceptance speech. I mean, I thank my wife, my beautiful wife for sure. My dad keeps reminding me of people just, it's so sweet how you say beautiful.
Oh,
I mean,
we have eyes, we can see.
Yeah, I mean. And then I was just like, yo, man, a year ago, I just wanted to stop doing this thing completely.
Yeah.
And God just said it's not your time. Loki, I was just saying, like, it's not over till the fat lady sings. I don't know if that's an appropriate. I don't want to offend anyone. I'm sorry, Yeah, and that's kind of like what God was saying to me, and I think it was also just emotional, just being there, because like I was in a room full of people who had said no to me.
Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even people close to me, people, and like they're just like, you guys.
Yeah.
You guys made me feel like I was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I think accepting the award in front of those people, and I'd also just been through so much in that day, just generally in that week.
Yeah.
Just being alive was like a blessing for me. Like, I just come from hospital, I'm battling these crazy migraines.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it just felt just super emotional just being there. But it was also like, shout out for getting it right. Yeah. But also for me, it wasn't just for me, because like I've never been someone who's award crazy and accolades, and I need, pats on the back or whatever. But the pat on the back did feel good. But for me, it felt good more, especially for the people who believe in me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people believe in me, and I get it a lot of times. I bump into people who are like, yo, bro, like, I need to defend you in debates. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like I just gave them more ammunition for their debates. Because then when people talk about who's the best this or albums or whatever, they'll speak about, they might mention Priddy Ugly, and then someone will be like, yeah, but like he doesn't have this many streams like whoever.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the award, and he doesn't have the plaque, and he doesn't, so I feel like in receiving that, I'm giving that to them so that they can be like, okay, if you guys, you guys want to speak about awards, okay, Kia award. You want to speak about plaques, Kizeri plaque. So now we can remove that, and let's just speak about the music. Let's speak about the actual pen.
Yeah.
And not all these other things that you guys keep bringing up.
Yeah, for sure.
So I felt like I was emotional on their behalf. Like, yo, guys, this is y'all's award,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 7 million streams on Spotify alone for Ntja'ka is like, it's
for,
not a small.
For Dust, I think Ntja'ka's on like 4 million streams.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's I mean, definitely my biggest song. And I mean, if you're just talking hip hop songs generally, I think in the last couple of years, there's not many who have done 3 million streams, 4 million streams on Spotify. I
Yeah.
think across all platforms, we're closing in on 7 million. So I think you're actually right. So yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
wild.
Yeah,
But I think maybe
crazy. I'm sorry, that thought was just like because I just remember like working on the song and then like playing it for some people
yeah, where they like, what is
and
this?
getting no reaction,
Oh,
even those close to me. Well,
hectic.
yeah. Anyway, so it's just like for me, it's also like
But an artist's journey
Yeah.
sometimes is lonely,
it's like that.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
no, 100%.
you
Yeah,
can see the vision, even if
Yeah.
you can't articulate it to other
sure.
people. But when you were essentially trying to stop doing this thing, like you said on stage, when you were contemplating your retirement,
Yeah.
I was retired out of
Yeah.
music as
Yeah.
well. So I kind of didn't follow like what was happening anywhere in music.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm hearing for the first time, like, what was the reason that you
Sure.
felt like, I don't want to do this anymore?
Yeah, it wasn't the people, it wasn't the fans, it wasn't from feeling underappreciated or just like, oh, this is so hard or whatever. I just said this to my team when I submitted Dust to them just last year, April or so. And to be fair, maybe it wasn't the full version of Dust. It was Dust and it was just missing features,
Okay.
but it was the way it sounded, you know? And yeah, the feedback just wasn't positive.
Okay.
And then I remember sitting down and saying like, yo, I believe in this thing so much that if this album doesn't work, because at the time, like, you know, we're discussing like, you know, there's particular sonics that they wanted me to play with and producers they wanted me to use and etc. And I'm like, okay, cool, I can do that. But it's also like, I also just want to make music that I'm happy with. I also want to make music that I can go out and perform, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was just feeling like, yeah, in the last couple of years, yeah, we've been doing whatever we've been doing, but like, I was just also feeling like, yeah, man, I just feel like I'm just constantly trying to prove to people I can rap. And like, I'm just tired of that. Like, if you don't get it by now, I forget about it. You know what I'm saying?
For
I think
real.
those who know, like, I just want to make music. I want to be on stage again. Cause I hadn't been on stage in like 3 years,
Yeah.
you know? Literally like from 2020 up until last year sometime, you know? I'd probably been on stage like 2, 3 times.
Hectic.
And this is someone who came from, like, I came from performing. We're
Yeah.
traveling Kuruman to Lesotho to, you know, I'm even in like ambitious days, I'm transporting myself to the shows. It's like, nah, I don't want to use your guys' vehicle. I'll drive my car to Lesotho. You know,
Yeah.
put my boys in the car, we go to Lesotho type situation, you know? So, and that fueled me so much. And then like, yeah, just after COVID, like I just wasn't on stage as much, you know? And this is not blaming anybody. It's also partly the things that I was dealing with as well, you know, like my migraines. It made it difficult to be on stages. Sound was very difficult. Like the lights were hectic. You know, I'm avoiding collapsing on stage, you know, because I don't want a weird narrative like, oh, it's because whatever, you know? I kind of stayed away for a while, but I also just felt like the music that I was making was really great. But like, unless I was having my own shows, people weren't trying to book me for that. You know what I mean? So for me, the team was like, yo, we need a record like Ntja'ka. We need this, and this is before we drop it, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's okay. It was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, man, if this doesn't work, I'm
Then I'm
done. Like, I'm done. So that's actually where it came from. And maybe over the time, it got spun into something else. Like, oh, no, he doesn't want to make music anymore. And
Yeah.
that wasn't it at all, you know?
Okay.
I had tons of music. I was still in studio in that time, even after submitting Dust.
Yeah.
I'm working on the next thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Even so, for me, it's also like Dust is dope and I love it. Yo, let me not downplay it. I love it, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I did that last year, March. I'm like,
You got lots of features out right now.
yeah, I had to make sure that like, you know, because I think I was quoted saying it back in the day that I didn't like doing features. But it wasn't, I didn't mean it like that, really, you know? It's just from my experience back in the day, it's just like every time I did a feature with somebody, the song just took longer to drop,
Okay.
you know? Or the guy just would never get back to me or whatever, you know. And I try to put together the features that I feel like hip hop fans like would like.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why it didn't work out. Because some guys I wasn't even like really fans of, but it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, because people pinned me with that person a lot. It's like, okay, I need to reach out to that person to get a song, you know,
Yeah.
so we can just put that to bed. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that wasn't the right energy, and that's why a lot of them didn't materialize type situation.
Yeah.
And yeah, but this year I just told myself, oh, from Dust, I remember just telling, you know, the team, they're like, yo, I just want to do more collaborations. This is a collaborative album. I want to work with more producers. I don't want it to be a 1-2 producer thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to just, I want to work with South African artists, you know. It's like, yeah, we'll do the international features. There's a few international people we're speaking to, or who have been speaking to me.
Is it Jay-Z? Because you said you want Hope to be on a chorus or something you wrote.
I mean, my wife was at the brunch, by the way, which I was supposed to join her. I just never got my visa stuff sorted out.
You know, when I was thinking about your Summer's emotion, right?
Yeah.
I was also thinking about Ntja'ka and how like he was just such a one of one, and the fact that he was hosting awards, like hosting. And how like you had your own relationship, right? Because obviously you also have this connection where Brucey Liu named WHP, and then you even had WHP on the deluxe of You Don't Know Me Yet.
He's the first person to sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to hear Dust and how like he immediately shows up in that, and a bunch of other rappers who are no longer here. Like, I'm wondering about if you were grappling with your own mortality when you were making this album, because it's quite like the first couple of songs is
dark a bit.
No, I wouldn't say dark, but like very introspective, questioning, pensive even, but also not sugarcoating that like, this is what happened to this guy. This is what happened to this guy. So talk to me a little bit about like your mental space making this album.
Yeah, I was down. I was just super down.
Yeah.
Thinking about death a lot. Not confident in myself and my abilities. And I'd always just been someone who's just so sure of myself and like what I'm doing. You know, but I guess like, you know, when you're also around, when you have a team now and other people and teams of people, and I'm not just talking about the label, I'm just talking about, you know, my close friends, my family, whatever. You know, when it's just like, when just the energy around you, even just like making music, it's just not exciting anymore. You know, like parents are like speaking to you about like, don't you want to submit your CV somewhere now? Don't you want to?
Really? Like in 2023, 2022, they were like, just off the CV?
Yeah, my parents were like, and it came out of concern.
Yeah.
Yeah, for them, it was just like, but it's also like, for them, my parents have never been like social media people. And last year they got onto TikTok or whatever, you know? And even if they're not on it, you know, there's a neighbor who comes to them. So it's like, we deal with flack and hate and whatever. I'm like so used to, like, for me, it's like I have like such a thick skin. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me, you know?
Yeah.
But it started affecting me when it's like, started affecting people closest to me, you know? Like, now my mom is just like,
so
sad.
Were they worried about like, if this happens, AKA, if Ntja'ka's doing this, then you might be in danger. Is that what they were thinking about? Okay.
Right. And I think I just didn't look happy. So they just like
you were unhappy.
Yeah, I was unhappy. I really was unhappy. You know?
Yeah.
So that crushed me, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think a death had hit me as hard as Riky Rick's death hit me. And yeah, man, it just made me think about Ntja'ka also, and the convos that I was having with Ntja'ka, and like these were people like who are just so immersed into this thing that they're doing, or this thing that we love. Like, geez, just just the moments and just the conversations we had with Ntja'ka were just like so, just life changing. You know, like, yes, such a great guy. Like Ntja'ka will come and chill with me and Weechi and not have anything to do. He just wants to sit with us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even make music. Like, I think when we did Tula Mama, we sat for like 12 hours, not doing anything. And like, as soon as I was about to leave, I had a show to go do at one of these places. I forgot what the thing was called now, somewhere in Fourways. And I was like, yo, what up, man? We gotta like leave in an hour. It's like midnight. So, you know? And he's like, oh, do you still need that verse that you asked me for? I'm like, I mean, yeah, but I mean, we can do it another time. He's like, no, just give me 5 minutes. He went outside, did whatever he did outside,
Yeah.
didn't pen anything down, and he came back and he's like, all right, cool, let's record. And he recorded his Tula Mama verse. And that was the last, no, I'm lying. It wasn't the last time I was in the studio with Java. I was in the studio with him many times after that, but like at the time I was doing songwriting stuff, co-writing stuff for him and other people that he was working with. Yeah, man, I was just feeling, yeah, so I guess just working on that album, just like I guess death was just plaguing my mind, you
Yeah.
know? I just felt like the energy around the world was just that. And I think that's also what inspired the last three projects, you know, Soil, Mud, Dust. I mean, from Soil moving into Mud is like, it's almost like the same type of thing. I was in the same type of feeling, but like the reason why I titled it Mud is because like my days were rainier. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? It's just like gloomier,
Yeah.
darker, sadder, you know, so it just felt heavier. But also I had to learn that through that, you know, it's like rain is not all gloom, you know, it's like life comes from that too, you know, for the grass to grow, we
Yeah.
gotta get some rain, you know? And
Yeah,
then
for
dust is
sure.
almost like when the dust settles, and like, and the reason why it's dust, because like I thought about like my upbringing. I remember like growing up, like I've been to way too many funerals, you know,
Mm.
even as a child. And yeah, that's what I thought about. Like while creating Dust, I was just thinking about a lot of my homies who had died and the funerals I'd gone to, and like the dust that was in my eyes from like the funeral dust, and like just being in the hood and playing soccer, go zone 9, Midlands now, you know, dusty streets, you know, dusty grounds. That's really what I was thinking about. So I was really thinking about like, yeah, just it just reminded me of growing up, and like,
Yeah.
and I guess I was just reflecting on a few of those things, not everything. And I was sad, but at the same time, also feeling like niggas gotta stop playing me, man. Like I
I
do
get
this. This is
that.
what I do. You know, like why are people treating me
Yeah.
like I'm not who I am? You know what I'm saying? And it was just Herc there, just like tapping me on my back the whole time. Like, bro, you actually like I won't repeat what he says, but like
Yeah.
just like giving me encouragement. You're that guy, like for real, you know?
And what is it that Ricky says at the end of Rest in Peace?
Yeah, rest in power.
Yeah, Rest in Power.
Yeah.
Pretty Ugly make the cipher complete,
Never,
right? Like, which
yeah,
is
never
obviously a very
complete.
well-known saying in hip
Sure.
hop, but it's also like respect. It's like
Yeah.
I like you a lot, and he also shows up with his H on
Yeah,
Marsha as well,
yeah.
right? Like, was that your way of trying to like not necessarily keep people alive, but like include them
Yeah.
in the now?
Because me and him we spoke about so much music that we're supposed to still make,
Yeah,
you know, and I do have like a song or two or three songs. I'll say two or three because like the other one is not really like complete. It's just, you know,
yeah,
that I just never wanted to drop because I just felt like we never got to finish them, so like I just would not finish them. But I still wanted you to be part of like what's happening. Like, dude, if you just stayed, if you just,
yeah,
you know what I mean, like it was gonna be fine. Whatever you're going through, it was gonna be fine. You know. Cause look where we're at now. There's so many new kids. There's Usmamani, there's K Kid. You know, what I mean, he knows Black Key. You know, so it's like, yeah, it was really was to like. I feel like your presence is needed in this time. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? For the youth, for the music, for like you're such an inspiration. You're just such a great energy. You know, and songs like Mosha was just like, and that's why like Rest in Power going into Mosha. You know, it ends with the Riky Rick skit and the ad libs going into Mosha because it's like, yeah, Mosha's sad because I'm speaking about you guys gone. But not Mosha, Rest in Power. And the song that comes after that is a celebration.
yeah,
You know? Like you
yeah,
would have enjoyed this, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah,
for sure.
that's really what it was about.
You know, something that's interesting to me, and I feel like we could talk about falling for the whole episode, like just that. But I'm gonna try to just ask you specific things
It's my
about
favorite
falling.
song on the project, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it might be my favorite as well. But you know, when you paint this picture of like, Lord, please hold my hand. I don't want to keep falling 6 feet in the sand. No, 6 feet in the sand is how you're gonna
Yeah,
I'm
keep
reading
falling,
it.
yeah.
And you said you don't know your lyrics.
Yeah.
But like the it was unclear to me if it's one person speaking or if it's a person saying, Lord, hold my hand, and another person being like, 6 feet is how you're gonna fall into the sand.
For sure. Wow, that's a good question. I did Falling. Falling was the first song that I did after working on Mad, and yeah, there's a lot of things I just wasn't happy with about like Mad. Not really like the music itself, just like everything that followed. The rollout. Um, Zuchi was doing the mixing and mastering initially on Mad, and yeah, and then things just kind of went south with the label Zoo, and then as a result, Zoo just didn't want to be involved as
Yeah.
much, and then like it just kind of messed like a lot of things up, and a lot of things we were planning just never materialized.
Yeah.
And then I got into training for the fight, and that came with
With
its own
Casper.
thing. Yeah, with Casper, and that came with its own thing. And yeah, and I'd taken a break from making music off the dust. I mean, off the mud, and I was just like back in gym because I hadn't been working out in like almost 2 years prior to that.
Yeah.
Back in gym again, just not trying to be in studio like at all. You know, not because I've stopped making music. It's just like, yeah, man, I can get back into making music when I want to make music, but right now I just don't feel like making music.
Yeah.
Which is also a very weird thing for me because like for me, like the songwriting process, the music making process is very spiritual for me. So it's like B knows this, like sometimes I just don't feel complete like if I didn't work on a song in a day. So
Yeah.
if I don't write anything down, I feel like I didn't pray low key. And many times I don't pray, like my writing is my prayer type situation. Um and long story cut short, after fight and then losing the fight, the first song I went to do is Falling. And this is after maybe 8, 10 months of not making any music, which is
Wow.
very long for me, very
Yeah.
long. It's like I don't think I'd ever taken a break that long making
Yeah.
music. And Kanye Nash was in the studio for me with me and Herc, and the sample that goes "I'm falling, fall," it's actually Kanye Nash's voice. And
Oh,
yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah, and so he really kind of like inspired that because he just kind of said "falling" on the song, and I just repeated that the whole time, and then the beat would do its thing, and then I sat with it for like a minute, and then I'd had the beat like for a while, and then eventually, like, yeah, shortly after the fight, maybe a few days after the fight, got back into studio, and the first thing I said was like, Lord, please hold my hand. I'm not trying to keep falling, but I'm also reminiscing on a lot of things. I'm reminiscing about just falling in life generally,
Yeah.
but I'm also on the fight. Like I just kept falling. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it was just playing on that as well. Um, I think that's why I ended off by saying like, oh, okay, I came down, but never stayed down.
Mm.
And I think that's just a metaphor for like the fight, and for me in life, my fight in life is like, yeah, I've been hit down many times, but the thing is I never stayed down.
That's amazing.
You had to brush yourself off and get back up.
Yeah.
And I guess while I'm just playing with that theme of falling, and I'm thinking about all our fallen heroes, and I'm mentioning them, and yeah, and it's interesting because when I played it for someone on my team, I won't mention the name. They had suggested to me that I drop that song as an NFT. Like they just like weren't moved. Like, oh yeah,
So they
these
were
ones.
like 5 people should hear it,
Yeah, they were like,
basically.
yeah, they're like it's right. They're like, yeah, no, these ones are like, yeah, it's one of those ones that can drop like as an NFT. Like for like your exclusive friend, your homie, like your diehard fans. And I was very touched by that.
Yeah.
Like I don't really take it like when people, don't really feel a song or whatever. I don't take it personally. Like, Wishi, when I would record Riky Wishi would be like, yo, man, I think you can do that verse again.
Mm.
I'm like, alright, cool. It's never like, no, what do you mean? Like, But with Falling, I thought, like, what do you mean, dog?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I felt very, and then I held on to that for a while. And then I didn't make another song after that for like another couple of months. And then at the top of 2023, Herc dragged me back into studio. And he's like, bro, like, stop feeling sorry for yourself,
Yeah.
and
Like
yo,
literally get up again.
let's get up.
Yeah.
And he played me Falling. Oh, jeez, I haven't heard this in a couple of months. And the first song we did then, when we decided that we were working on an album, was No Plans. And that's when he asked me, like, yo, how you feeling? Like, what do you... I'm like, I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't know what I want to say. I have nothing to say, but I'm seeing purple, green.
Yeah.
Yeah, turquoise. And yeah, anyway, yeah, Falling. Yeah.
That's so interesting. I think I want to come back to Falling, but I also want to chat a little bit about Heaven's Gate. Because obviously it comes before.
I never play
it
that
does.
song, eh?
You don't?
Yeah, it's very
You can't
difficult.
hear it?
Yeah, nah. I don't. Heaven's Gate. How does that one go? One thing I can say about Heaven's Gate is it was inspired. The chord progression is inspired by a Tupac song. It's not. It's not Dear Mama. Damn, I don't even remember the song. That's how much I don't listen to the song. I remember it was inspired by a Tupac something, and that came from a conversation I had with Vaughn. And I think at the time he was like, "Yo, man, it would be cool if you do like a song, Brenda's Got a Baby." I'm like, "Oh yeah, cool." I remember listening to Brenda Got a Baby in that time, and like, I was like, "Yeah, no, cool. I like the message of it, but I don't really like the song. The beat doesn't really move me or whatever." And then in that went down the Tupac rabbit hole, and then me and her were just listening to Tupac records, and he had one that had this very... So when you guys are watching this thing and you think about Heaven's Gate, maybe it'll hit me. It'll also hit me when I leave here, maybe, There's a specific Tupac song. Just like moved me. And it wasn't the lyrics, it was like the chord progression. Like, wow. And it made me instantly think about Riky Rick.
Yeah.
But it's not just Ricky, it's like I have so many friends who have taken their lives.
So when you're talking about the homie that's taken his life in Heaven's Gate, it was referring to Ricky.
I actually wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't at
Someone
all.
else.
It just so happened that it was in the same time that Ricky had passed on.
Yeah.
So, but it kind of, today and every day, you need to pray and meditate.
Yeah.
Yeah. My homie took his life. Yeah. Yeah, it really wasn't about Ricky, but like, the shoe fits for sure. I go the whole year without thinking about it, and then sometimes it's just like,
because it's life.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to make this like a really sad episode. I do have one more like Falling question.
Sure.
And it's specifically around like Pro's little bro got shot. Like, I'm saying it badly. You say it better.
Yeah.
And then like the didn't survive, pity city died.
Yeah.
Like, just the wordplay. Yeah. It's so good.
Come
it's
on.
So good.
I do this. I do it.
So like, do you write down feelings? I know you already spoke about like your process and the colors and all of that, but do you write down feelings?
Like journaling almost? Really?
No, like when you're writing the rhyme, right?
Yeah.
Like to me, it's like didn't survive.
Yeah, pity died.
Like,
yeah.
It just rolls.
Yeah, it's like I just think in rhymes, eh? I think that's just kind of how it came out. Like I'm just rhyming, but I want to tell the story. I'm trying to speak about city lights, R.I.P. City Lights. Vura had the city hype. Hamang Vura. He looked these fucking killers in the eye, Look these killers in the eye. Didn't survive, pity city died. I was a kid his brother really liked. Pro your kids with you in the sky. It's like...
You're such a good writer.
Thank you.
You're such a good writer. Do I even have time to ask some of these questions? The one thing I do want to say is I feel like you go very deep, very vulnerable in a lot of your music. And then halfway in the song, you'll be like, your girl in finger licking chicken.
Yeah, chef, yeah.
Or you'll be like, now, your girl is getting the kitty. Like, what?
yeah.
Like, so is it like an escape for you? Are you like, hey, I got too close to my feelings. Now I need to speak about how I'm banging your girl.
100%.
Why do you do that?
Yeah, because I mean, like, like I treat, the song is developing as I'm writing it down or as I'm recording it. And it's like, yo, RIP City Life, what I had to say. Oh, I'm gonna, okay. Bro, your kids with you in the sky. Your kids with you go fly. My chick finger looking good. I'm gonna need a chicken licking with a side. Because actually, what's happening as I'm actually like writing this thing, Bunte comes into the studio. Is like, yo, what are you gonna eat?
We don't know that.
Yeah,
We're listening
but
like,
now, yeah.
oh, this person who's passed away, but also my chick is so flat.
Yeah.
Ow!
But it's also like just a metaphor for like, life goes on.
Because
Because like someone can die and just like, we're gonna go get this chicken licking now. Yeah.
It's true though.
Yeah, it is. You know what I'm saying? We can be sad in that moment and it's just like life happens and you just need to continue living and going through it.
I feel like we could talk forever.
Yeah, we can.
And we all talk
We
because
will,
you're
for sure.
working on stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But I just want to ask you about Go On.
Yeah.
Where you say you thought you had all that time until your time
Exactly.
came. So before your time comes, what is the one thing that you're like, my time can't come before?
Man. Geez, that's a good one. I mean, right now it's not too many crazy things. I just like really see my daughter grow. Yeah, just like grow and be healthy and I'd like to be old. Yeah.
And you will.
Yeah.
You
No, I
will.
believe that. Yeah, God has been good. God has blessed us. Yeah, for me, like there's not too many things I want right now,
Yeah.
just I mean there's certain things that, we hope to get, I'd like to get a Grammy, I'd like that, but it's like for me it's just like really now it's just really where I'm at right now is just I really love to develop a greater relationship with God, the universe, the world. I'd like to be able to share things with the next generation, my children, that's gonna help them navigate this life thing. So I'd like to be an
Yeah.
old wise man one day. Like, actually, I get what you're going through right now, but like I was also there. Like you'll be alright. Like, don't you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And yeah, right now it's just like peace of mind is like my most health and peace of mind are like my ultimate like goals.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can't make it any more deeper than that, really. I think that's really just what it is,
Yeah.
And I'm just taking every day as it comes. I'm because I'm a severe overthinker, so I'm trying to not overthink. And sometimes like a lot of people ask me like, "Yo, how you feeling? Some award winning." It's just like I still have not found time to like to think about how I'm feeling. Like, how does it feel to be? It's like I've been on the move every day, every second day. I'm apologizing to someone because like, yo, I know I said I was gonna send you that verse. I gotta cancel that thing. I can't do that. I'm actually like super busy, so it's like when
Also a
I'm
season.
busy, yeah,
The season.
yeah,
And then when things get quiet again, you'll be
Yeah.
able to do all this.
100%.
But thank you very much for coming through. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Please do come back.
Of course.
And
Please
I
have
guess
me
I'll
again,
see
yeah?
you. Peace.
Yeah, of course.
Bye, everybody.
Brrrr.